Everybody, and welcome to my first ever match review, and I'm going to be reviewing the pre-season fixture Preston versus Hearts, which took place yesterday at Deepdale. So this is my first ever match review, so if you do enjoy it, make sure you leave a like and let me know that you do enjoy this sort of video if you want to see more. So first things first, here was our starting 11. We started with Jamie Jones, Tom Clark, Bailey Wright, Will Keane, Jermaine Beckford, Daniel Johnson, Paul Gallagher, Joe Garner, Callum Woods, John Welsh and Paul Huntington. So that was the first 11 that we started with, and honestly the first half wasn't the best. We started with sort of like a 4-3-1-2 formation, so that meant that there was very little, if at all, width at all. So we were going very central, and that just meant that we couldn't really break down the Hearts defence. So what we were doing, the four at the back, we had Tom Clark, Bailey Wright, Paul Huntington and Callum Woods, who was playing at left back, who I'm not opposed to that since we don't really have any other left backs. Actually, we only really have one proper first team fullback, which is Callum Woods at the moment. So Tom Clark started at right back, where I don't think that's his natural position, but he does do a job there when he needs to. And the two centre backs were Bailey Wright and Paul Huntington. And then in midfield, it went a bit pear-shaped really. In the first half, we had Daniel Johnson, John Welsh and Paul Gallagher seemed to be playing quite a central role in the first half, drifting wide to put in a cross now and again, but it wasn't really working as John Welsh is the only player in that midfield who is capable of, putting in a big challenge for anyone, whereas Daniel Johnson and Paul Gallagher are more sort of creative players, if you like. So that wasn't really going to plan since they had no outlets to look for on the wings and to ping a ball across to, so they gave the ball away quite easily in the first half, which was a bit disappointing. And then the forward three, we had Will Keane playing just in behind Joe Garner and Jermaine Beckford, which in the first half that didn't work at all, to be honest. Will Keane looked lost in midfield. He was sort of playing an attacking mid sort of role, just playing in behind Garner and Beckford, and that role didn't suit him at all. He looked lost for most of the first half, and he was drifting back into midfield and going up front, and the position just didn't suit him at all. So in the second half, Simon Grayson did actually edit the formation a little bit. He decided to keep the midfield and the defence the same, but what he did with the forward three was he got Beckford and Keane both to play off Joe Garner, so that they were playing not as a winger but as sort of like an inside forward. So Jermaine Beckford was playing left inside forward and Will Keane right inside forward, and that position suited them much better, as Will Keane did do a lot better in the second half, and he did manage to craft some chances for himself as well, which was very positive to see from the young United signing that we have got on loan. So another thing I wanted to talk about was actually the pitch has actually been narrowed for this season, and as soon as I got there, I noticed it. I was like, really? I didn't really understand it at first, but now I've put some thought into it. I guess that it makes sense, seeing as last season we never really played with wingers. In our whole squad, I'd say we only really have one out-and-out winger, and that is Carl Reid. So you could argue that Gallagher and Humphrey are wingers, but I'd more say that Gallagher is better centrally, in more of an attacking mid sort of role, and Chris Humphrey is better as a wing-back. So we really only have one winger, so that proves to me that we're not going to play with wingers for the coming season, so we probably are most likely going to stick with playing with wing backs. So narrowing the pitch is probably just going to be, weaken our opponents that we play, as they won't be able to, spread the balls across and get them out wide to whip them in, so that'll be less of a threat to us. As for the game itself, it did actually take a while for it to get going. I'd say that Hearts just edged the first half with them creating slightly more chances, but then we definitely edged the second half up to when we scored with Joe Garner, and the goal actually came from a mistake from their keeper. He just hit it out and Joe Garner was able to pounce on that and put in his header into the empty net, which I didn't even think it went in. It hit the crossbar, then they managed to get it out, but the referee did say it went in, and I have heard that it was definitely a goal from people that were sat closer to the net. So he managed to put it into the back of the net with his head. And then in the 66th minute, it did become a training match basically, with Simon Grayson making 5 changes. He brought on Brown, Brownhill, Davis, Hugill and Little, who were shortly followed by Jack Ryan and Nick Anderton. So all of them came on, and when we made all those substitutes, all the competitiveness was just really taken out of the match, and it did become like a training match basically. But I must say that Nick Anderton did have a very good match when he came on. He is the left back that's come through the Preston Academy, and I believe he broke his leg last season, if I'm right in saying that, and he played very well down the left hand side. He got in some good crosses. He was a big player, and he's pretty fast as well. and I must say that the same about Will Keane. So another thing I wanted to talk about was Jamie Jones. Now, I'm not one of these people that just goes around and whenever he's on the ball I heckle him for no reason. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those, you know, anti-Jamie Jones people for no reason. But the way he played, you know, I came into this match wanting to give him a chance and wanting to see, you know, how he's improved over the summer. But honestly, from what I saw, he's just not improved. The thing wrong with him, I know he kept a clean sheet, but the things he did is wrong. Just his distribution isn't great, and he puts defenders in awkward situations as he doesn't like kicking it long. So I can think of at least 3 times where he put our defenders in awkward opportunities where they were surrounded by the defenders and their strikers, sorry, and they just had to give it back to him. And you know, for a couple of times he just wouldn't come off his line, or when he did come off his line he was caught in no man's land. So just a bit of, you know, I really hope we do get this Sam Johnson deal done pretty soon, as I know he's on tour with United at the moment, and I know he did play the other night, and according to a lot of people on Twitter, he did actually play very well. So hopefully we do manage to get that deal done in the end, and hopefully we do manage to complete these fullback deals as well, which I'm definitely looking forward to if they do eventually sign for us. So that will wrap it up for this review, guys, of the Preston Hearts match. Before I go, I want to get your guys' opinions in the comments down below on our new away kits. So it's been a bit controversial, really. A lot of people say minions and stuff like that, but whatever. I want to get your guys' opinions on what you think of our new away kits. So leave it in the comments down below what you think of our new away kit, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, and also let me know what you think of Jamie Jones, whether he's good enough to be our number 2 this season, or whether you think we should just get rid altogether. So that will wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want me to do more of these videos, just leave a like on the video so I know you'll enjoy them, and also comment down below what you think I should be, you know, what thing I should have in the background. So for this video I recorded some videos of the Preston guys training and warming up, so let me know what you want to see, whether you want to see me play a match on FIFA while I'm doing this. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, so that will wrap it up for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Now, here comes the music. Boom, boom, boom.